not start your book manuscript with an outline that is structured to look like a book? It's going to have to get in that particular framework anyway before you can print it. Well, that's what the book template does. It helps the writer to structure their physical book. But my book template goes further. It is specially designed to give genealogists a place to put their research plan, proof documents, and narratives in a manuscript that can easily be uploaded to a book printer like Kindle Direct Publishing, kdp.amazon.com.
The first page of your new manuscript is going to be the title page.
Now, the Chicago Manual of Style
and the American Psychological Association, I think is what it is, APA, those are two sources that generally have the accepted formats for genealogy books. But if you're writing kind of a slash story genealogy type book, just look at books that you enjoyed. Take this particular file, make a copy of it, and store it on your computer, because that is the template that you could use for all of your future books.
It is super important to complete the focus exercise first before you go any farther in this process.
So, the title page is the first page of your manuscript. I suggest that you use the name of your who. Just substitute the name of your who. Just as an example, I'm going to write this. You can change it later. I'm going to write a book about my Grandma Daisy. My name, so you're going to type your name in here. And most books have an image of, so Daisy Dooley Marshall is my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, and I'm just going to find a picture of her. I will choose this for her book and drag it onto the book template. So I'm going to click and drag her until I get to the title page. There are just a few formatting techniques that I need to show you to make this work better. With an image, you see how the text is wrapped around like this? Sometimes that's fine. Sometimes that's what you want, but I don't want that on the title page. I want her to stand alone. So see right here, I've clicked her like this. On my keyboard, it's called a control. Hopefully it's the same on a PC keyboard. I press down the control key and then I click on her picture. This set of menus comes up and says wrap text. Right now, it says put all of your text all around, make a square around the image. I don't want that. I want the image to come right after the title. So I'm going to click on in line with text, and I'm going to click on that. So what that does, did you see the difference? It put all of this text down below her, and right now she's right underneath that. Blue things just means a space. This page break, let me show you how to do this. It's incredibly important that you do it before any page that has a heading like this. So most people would just keep on hitting the carriage returns, but we're not going to do that. We're going to instead go to the Insert menu, and we're going to go down to where it says Break, Page Break, and we're going to put a page break here. That is going to automatically position the cursor at the top of the next line, because on these lines, I'm going to delete these extra spaces. I've already set this up for you. I've already done the whole template. I've already done the whole shell. This is your book. These are all the pages in your book. There's a copyright page, a dedication page, poem, picture, trees, something in there. On the 5th page, a table of contents must always start on an odd numbered page. So this is your table of contents. I've already done it for you. It will it almost will automatically update. You kind of have to help it, but it'll calculate the page numbers for you, and I'll show you how to do that. I have the instructions in here. But then, so we have also, it's hard to see, but if you wanted a family tree, you could put that here. I use the introduction as kind of it's an outline to keep me on track. It's very short, Keep it to less than 2 pages or less. Clue the reader on what to expect from this book. I might put in there who it's about, why I chose that person to write about, just very, very briefly. What got me started? What got me interested in writing a book about this person? Something like that. I might have in there some major goals. What did I want to find out about Grandma Daisy to put in this book? So the introduction will keep you on track. For chapter 1, usually I just write about what I already know. So for this particular book, I started it by writing something that I lived. I visited Grandma Daisy, my family, in 1967, and this is what she did every morning. Generally, chapter 1 for me is what I don't type very well. What I already know. So those of you who have already collected stories, documents, this is a place where you can write it. Without collecting another single thing, what have you already found? Here's an example of what I mean by do the research as you're writing the book, or vice versa, write the book as you're doing the research. Here's an example for chapter 2. Where did your who person live? Grandma Daisy is my who person. So I went through all of the city directories. Look at what the information says and write a little narrative about it below it. Grandpa Austin Marshall was a Pullman porter in the 1920s through the 1940s. In 1940, he bought the Marshall Funeral Home at 8115 Cedar Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. Daisy was serving as the mortician for the family business. She also assumed the role of mother and father of their 5 children, who lived at 2182 East 81st Street. Okay, you don't need to worry about spelling. It doesn't need to flow. The idea is to analyze the data that you have and write it in a narrative format. You can expand this later. Chapter 3 could be who was your who's mother. So whatever information you gathered on your who person's mother, just put it in here and then type a few sentences that describe what those documents say. Chapter 4 could be who is your who's father. Chapter 5 could be who were your maternal enslavers. So whatever information, if it's probate information, if it's the 1860 or 1815 slave schedules, if it's even stories from the elders, whatever you've gathered that addresses maternal enslavers, put it right in here. And again, write a narrative underneath it. Who were your paternal enslavers? Chapter 7 might be who are your who's descendants. Okay, so you want to get descendants all the way to the present day because they can take a DNA test. Hello, you have to be alive to take a DNA test. But it's best if you can get your eldest elders right now before they pass on. Get their DNA because it's the closest to the enslavement period. Chapter 8. Did DNA find more relatives? Evaluate your documents and determine how that fits in with your research. So what if you find more relatives that are DNA related? Well, they may have family trees that are more complete than yours. And if you start talking to them, leave them messages, maybe they'll share the information with you and then you can expand your family tree and find out more about your ancestors. This is all a calculated method for finding information. And using the book template allows you to put all your data right where it belongs and allows you to see it all in one place. And sometimes that helps you make connections. Write them up. Write them up. You can work for months later on prettying things up and getting just the right words and being clever and all that stuff. I gave you 10 chapters. There's chapter 9 and there's chapter 10 because there may be other topics that you're interested in. What's also in this is an epilogue or the conclusion. So what were your goals? What did you find? What didn't you find? And what do you want to research in the future? This is the most powerful thing right here. What will you research in the future? So whatever I can find out about my who person in 9 months is what I'm going to write up. This also has several appendixes, so if you want to put your family tree back here, that's fine. If you want to put spreadsheets back here, if you want to find items that are a little more scientific or really, really bogged down in statistics and things like that, you might want to put those in the appendix instead of in the main body of the text. You don't want your reader to just close up the book. Again, make sure that you indicate what the topic is in here because it's going to show up in your table of contents. So acknowledgments, you definitely want to thank all the people that helped you do the research and write this book of love. Put all their names in there. As I ask the people who have helped me, how do you want me to remember you in this book? And then I pass it by them so that they approve of what I'm saying about them since I'm mentioning their names. A bibliography. You will have looked at many, many, many books, no doubt. Put them in the bibliography. The general rule is last name, then first name, the title of the piece in italics. If there's a volume of, the document you're looking at, the publisher, where the publisher is located, the year it was published, that sort of thing. And then you sort them by last name, alphabetically by last name. So fill out your bibliography as you go. When you're finding these things, put the information about your source in the bibliography right away so you don't forget. I actually put URLs in here too. Same thing with endnotes. Endnotes are like, footnotes would be putting your source citation data at the bottom of the page at which they referenced it. But I like endnotes. Endnotes put all of that stuff in the very back of the book. Now the endnotes are going to automatically appear here. You're going to see a superscript here, and you're going to have to type in whatever that source was. About the author is a really important page. It should be on the last page of your book. That would be your bio, a picture of yourself, other books that you've written, and ask for a review. Ask them to leave you a review on Amazon or wherever it is that you want the review left. And that's it. That's your book template. Save this puppy. So ideally, this is kind of what your book template is going to look like. You can put all kinds of pictures. You can put charts in there. You can just have text if that's what you want. And feel free to check out any of my books on Amazon.